en este nuevo bloque de, bueno, para Colombia la mañana, ya para Argentina
We are back again
casi post almuerzo, y tenemos ahora
with this
dos
new
presentaciones
presentation.
súper
We have actually
interesantes.
two
Una a
presentations
cargo de
that are
Bruno
very
Cendon
interesting.
Martín sobre
One
realidad aumentada
that
y
is going to be
realidades
given by
artificiales.
Bruno
Es
Martin
el
about
director de la empresa
augmented
Wireless
reality and
Oculus, y
artificial
después tenemos
intelligence.
algo
He's
sobre
the director
educación,
of
pero le voy a dar la
Oculus.
bienvenida
And
a
then we have
Bruno.
another panel on education. I'm going
Bienvenido,
to welcome Bruno.
Saludos desde Buenos Aires, Argentina, que estamos transmitiendo.
Greetings
aquí
from
para
Buenos Aires,
la South School
Argentina.
on
We
Internet
are
Governance.
streaming for the South School
No
on
sé
Internet
dónde estás
Governance.
ubicado, si estás en
I don't know
Estados
where you
Unidos
are
o en
located
qué lugar,
now, if you're in the
pero
US
bueno,
or where
saludos
you
desde
are.
aquí, desde el
But
sur de América Latina, y
greetings
bienvenido
from
a
Argentina,
la
the south
escuela.
of Latin
Gracias
America.
por
Welcome to the
dedicar
school.
tu tiempo a esta presentación para
Thank
nuestros
you
becarios.
for
Tenemos 500
giving us your
becarios
time to give this
fundamentalmente de
presentation.
América
We have
Latina,
500
pero también
fellows,
de
mainly
otros
from
países,
Latin
porque
America,
ahora
but
la
also from
virtualidad
other
hace
countries.
que puedan participar desde
This
cualquier
virtual
lugar, y además
context
tenemos
allow us to
traducción
have
simultánea
participants from
en
all over the
inglés
world,
y
and
en
we
el
also
canal de
have
YouTube
simultaneous
también,
translation
así
in
que
Spanish and
gracias por
English,
estar
and the
con
YouTube
nosotros y
channel as well.
bienvenido. El tema es
So
súper
thank you for being with
interesante.
us. Welcome. This is a very interesting topic.
No te escuchamos, Bruno.
We can't hear you, Bruno.
Bueno, el problema típico de
Típico problema de estas
The
épocas.
typical
No te
problem
escucho
nowadays.
casi.
I can't
Bienvenido,
hear you, you are
gracias por estar.
muted.
Tengo hasta una camiseta que dice estoy en mute, ya me la compré. Buenos días y muchísimas gracias por la invitación a esta Escuela Sur de...
Good morning. Thank you for inviting me to participate in this South School on Internet Governance. I am currently in Palo Alto in the US. I live near the Facebook headquarters. It's a pleasure to participate in this school. I'm going to talk about augmented reality and virtual reality. I am the director of wireless technologies that is called Facebook Reality Labs. It's a group that works on consumption electronics on Facebook. Now I'm going to tell you about these are different devices that we have. This is an area in which Facebook has been working a lot in these last couple of years. I'm going to share my presentation. Before I start talking about a little bit what we are doing and talk about the area in which I work, which is how we apply wireless technologies to augmented and virtual reality, I'm going to tell you a little bit about our vision. The most important thing from the point of view of our vision is to get people together to develop communities. In 1943, a psychologist created a pyramid for human necessities. One of those that is connected to love is connection. Connection is a fundamental human need. Connection is something that we look for, that we care about, that is very precious for our lives. And whenever we get it, it's something that we try to keep. And we have been witness during the pandemic of how connection has been paramount and how the tools enabling connection with our friends or family or our loved ones, our colleagues, co-workers, we try to improve the connection that we had. And now there are different ways of sharing that connection. Facebook Reality Labs, what we try to do is to develop devices in order to offer these future connection experiences. For us, our connection is connected to three different worlds. The first one is the physical world. For example, talking face-to-face or with a video call. But then there are two other contexts in which connection is going to grow in the future. Augmented reality, that is a world in which to our physical world we add layers of information that are going to improve our interaction with the world and with the people we connect to through virtual reality. Virtual reality is the capacity that we have to get into a new virtual world without limits, in which we may have unthinkable experiences within a real world or an augmented reality world, and in which we can have different experiences, unique experiences. The final goal of all this is that maybe being in Argentina or in Colombia or in the US, we can get together and feel that we are all together. Nowadays, we do have that kind of feeling, but in order to think that that feeling can be real, such as, for example, see somebody and you feel that it's near you. So that's why we believe that remote connection is very important, and that is something that we should work, and we believe that the new devices that are going to be developed in the new consumption electronics generations are going to be focusing on this remote presence. So far, we have all lived the different computing revolutions, the development of computers, when computers became something that we could have in our households, when it became something that we could have in our pockets with our mobile phone. And now we believe that there's a new computing revolution that is coming. And we are going to feel that we bring the computer with us. It's not that it's going to merge, but it's kind of we're going to wear it. It's going to be wearables. In Facebook Reality Labs, we started developing devices that bring about better connection experiences. And now we do have 3 devices families in the market that offer new ways of sharing, new ways of being connected that go beyond the devices that we already know. For example, we have this Portal device. We have launched 2 new generations of Portal. Although it's not available in all countries in the world, we are trying to enhance our sales network. But it is a device for video conferencing and video calls. We asked ourselves what we had to do to improve video calls with the cameras that we have. And with this, for example, in this Zoom meeting, I could have used Portal. I'm using a laptop, but I had to be careful with the camera and with the lighting and everything. In Portal, we do have an element that is an AI-based element that is able to recognize the people in the framework. We are working even with Hollywood movie makers to see how to focus and to enhance the image so that our video call is a totally enjoyable experience. I have calls with my parents in Spain, and I can be during an hour with them, and I feel like I'm there. So it is a way of improving the way in which we work. We are working with the best video calling systems in the world to improve this. This is not a tablet, it's not a phone. It is a physical connection experience of these 3 different worlds that I mentioned merging. We have also launched together with Luxottica, the brand that owns Ray-Ban, the Ray-Ban Stories. This is our first wearable product, and what we have done is, this is like a first step in which we develop a viewpoint, an experience, and a way of sharing content in a different way. This is a device that, although people may think that it's something that already exists in the market, it's a camera with an audio and microphone capacity. It's actually glasses. We haven't changed the original Ray-Ban design. So we are building in or including this technology in something so small, and this is very complex. Our IT labs, people in Facebook were able to do it, and we think that this is the first step towards wearable technology, and we would like to see this in the future. On the other hand, we also have the Oculus devices line. Now we have Oculus Quest 2. We have launched Oculus Go and many others, and now we were able to have a single device that has all the capabilities. It's a device in which we have more than 250 or 300 different games and experiences of communication working, and it is working really well. It can be executed in an autonomous way. It can be connected to a computer through a cable or through Wi-Fi, and to be able to experience the virtual reality experiences in the computer. I'm going to share a video here. I hope that you can see it. This device has the same technology, but it is the first one in the market that is totally autonomous from the point of view of giving 6 degrees of freedom. It's not only the way I can move my head, but I can move within a space. And this is a technology that acknowledges the place in which you are. It can create a virtual map, and you can move. A little while ago, this was something that we could only do with a setting including a lot of devices. A couple of years, if you wanted to have a virtual reality experience in which we could move within a room with freedom, for example, we needed powerful devices, sensors distributed all over the room, 3-4 sensors, controllers. It was necessary to have a lot of devices. Since we launched Quest 1 and then Quest 2, we were able to have experience in which you need nothing. Even you don't need the controllers, because the device can detect our hands and can use them for the virtual reality. So this step forward in only a couple of years is showing us what the future will bring about as regards these augmented reality and virtual reality experiences. We need to understand that virtual reality is not only talking about games. It means talking about business, about education, about culture, about many things. In these videos that you can see here, there are different tools that are used to train human resource people for the different DHL logistics centers. For example, we have a Johnson & Johnson video in which there are tests done with medical devices for surgeries. There was also a research study with virtual reality in which some people were trained with virtual reality and other people were trained with the traditional methods. There were then different tests that were carried out to see how much the surgeons have learned, and they realized that with virtual reality, in which they are able to see the devices, to interact with the devices and with a virtual patient, they have learned 95% of things, and while people starting with the traditional methods were at 60%. So virtual reality in those contexts, immersive context, gives us the possibility of having a rich experience as regards training and education. The evolution of education in virtual reality grew a lot together with because of the pandemic. We had 2 years in which it came from being an entertainment You can see there in 2019, it was used as entertainment at schools. Students were using it as an entertainment experience. They could see maybe different landscapes. And now in 2021, we do have MBAs using virtual reality for their courses, with professors and recording studios and processes and content, and the virtual reality glasses or helmets, and you can have the complete education experience. And this is like the first step of what we wanted to go forward as regards the next generation of Internet. This is a virtual world that is going to allow creators to have new immersive experiences. There already are instances of this kind of experiences, the 3D environments in our phones and tablets and computers, but the idea of this is to work towards interconnectivity, open standards, and developing like a new Internet. And we want to develop those tools and those devices, and we believe that it should be open and connected. One of the areas in which we started launching applications is the labor area, the labor scenario. We have launched the Workrooms app in virtual reality. This allows us, with a Quest 2 device, to be in a virtual meeting room in which we can work with people from all over the world. We can talk, we can sketch on a board with people that are not with us, actually. It's a place in which we can share content that we have in our computer, that can recognize our hands in the keyboard, and that will allow us to include people that doesn't have this experience with video calls with more traditional methods. This is the first step. As regards this technology, there is a lot to be done and a lot to experience and to test, but we believe that these experiences are going to change the way in which we work. And this is virtual reality because, as we have said before, and our CEO Mark Zuckerberg has shared a lot of times, here we have the VP, who is going to is going to hold a new position in the company. We are building AR glasses. As we said before, these glasses are going to give us the capacity to improve what we see in reality. We believe that it is something that we are going to be able to bring with us, and the industry is working towards that goal nowadays. By telling you about what we are working on, now I have a couple of slides that I would like to show you about what my team is specifically doing, the challenges that we are facing in order to make AR and VR to have more presence in the future. I believe that technologies, as they are nowadays, have serious restrictions as regards capacity. And with my team and the whole industry and standards ecosystem and the governments all over the world, we are working in order to show which are the possibilities that we have in the future. When we talk about RA and RV, there are different challenges from the point of view of technologies. These are devices that need to operate at adequate speeds for the human brain because they work with human perception. The speed, not really high speeds, but latency and jitter, that means to have content frames that are lost. is going to affect a lot the situation. One of the things that happened a lot with our virtual reality devices was this kind of dizziness that you would feel after using the device for half an hour or maybe an hour. And that is simply that kind of delay, microseconds delay that within our brain we feel. At the beginning we may not feel it, but our body realizes that something is going on, and when it does, the natural way of answering to that is feeling dizzy or requiring us to sit down to relax, and this is something that we need to take into account and to work on. We are talking about milliseconds, so when we are talking about wireless connections, so we need, from the point of view of wireless technologies, we are working on innovation as regards Wi-Fi. And we are talking with the different innovation departments all over the world, because we believe that standards such as Wi-Fi 6E, that is going to bring about a new band of 6 gigahertz for this spectrum, it's going to be very important. Some already do have those 1.2 GHz of spectrum, and that is going to allow us to develop new experiences and to open doors towards experiences in which augmented and virtual reality with the current 2.4 and 3.8 spectrum is kind of limited. We are going to be able to do it with 6, because 2.5 and 2.4 and 5 nowadays are totally saturated like labs, and we need to do something in order to solve that problem. Connectivity is going to be implemented with new technologies connected to virtual reality. The broadband and low latency is going to be brought about by 5G and 6E. And later on, with the Wi-Fi 7 technology that we are working on, in our department, we are working with the Wi-Fi Alliance. We started working with that in order to explore the needs of AR and VR. We also want to bring about different power profiles to operate from anywhere, not only in our house or workplaces. This is something that we've been talking a lot. In different countries, there are different users of these bands, and we are suggesting the creation of low power profiles that are going to be paramount to develop a new category of devices that are going to have like these kind of superpowers and are going to give us really very fast speed. And if we don't have this, we are not going to be able to create these experiences and a way towards 5G. And a poor Wi-Fi with 5G is going to be a failure. So we need to develop those highways of Wi-Fi in which we have a lot of channels. In Wi-Fi 7, we are talking about 320 megahertz in those highways. So what we can do is to launch a lot of data in a very quick way, and that is going to allow us to save a lot of energy, thermal energy, in devices that are going to be smaller. I want to give some time for questions from the audience, so I'm going to wrap up my presentation. A better connectivity is going to be paramount, vital for developing connections in the Internet of the future. The physical world, augmented reality, and virtual reality are going to depend on having implemented 5G and it's also Wi-Fi 6E and using new frequency bands and new technologies that take into account these experiences. And as we say in Facebook, this is only 1% of the way. We still need to go the other 99%. So this is something that we always have to do, and there are always areas to improve. Thank you, Bruno. Your presentation was very interesting. I guess many things in the future are going to happen, and I wanted to ask you about these Ray-Ban glasses. I have seen a video on the Facebook page that Mark Zuckerberg is talking with director of Ray-Ban or an officer at Ray-Ban. How do you see this device with mobile phones? Do you think it's going to replace mobile phones, or are going to be like parallel devices that are going to be used? I think that it's going to be like a device that is going to be used at the same time. It's not going to replace it. I went with my daughter to a park in Santa Cruz this weekend, and we were in one of the attractions. And the video that I could film with the glasses is impossible to do with a mobile phone. Or when I am riding a bike, or when I'm running, those are experiences that I think that are totally different. Of maybe playing soccer with my son with the glasses on. These are experiences that are very different and that allow us to understand the different interactions. These glasses don't have a display to see information, but these are things that in the future probably are going to be included. So this is like a first step. I think that it's not going to replace the mobile phone, but it gives us new ways of having these new kind of devices. Are these glasses available in Latin America or only in the US?
We conducted a product launch. I don't know all countries by heart, but I think it's the United States, and it's been launched to another whole bunch of countries in Europe and Asia or Australia. But little by little, this is going to be launched and expanded to other countries. These devices are very new, that are experiential, that they have high risk in this launch, because we still don't know how it's going to be adopted eventually by the consumer. I'm not in the sales team, but little by little we're launching this at a larger scale. I think that we have been launched in more than more than 30 countries, and eventually we will reach all. I worked with mobile networks and in technical aspects. I think that it should be allocated within the adequate spectrum with certain applications requiring great speed. And if the ecosystem is not in line with all the elements, the manufactured product is not going to work. At least, in order to satisfy those needs of the final user. We spoke about a spectrum. This is a one-week conference. We started with a technical and then social aspect, cybersecurity, and right now augmented reality and artificial reality during today, and education as well. So we spoke about the spectrum and the importance of Wi-Fi having larger capacity. So it supplements very well what you're saying, or what you are saying in your presentation. Thank you very much for your time, for your involvement. I really admire everything that you do. I saw the goggles and the glasses, and basically I believe that they're great. Let's see if I can buy a pair of it. And probably we are going to do it through the Ray-Ban glasses or the telephone, both devices at once. They're independent. You can go walking, running. and pictures are stored in the glasses, and the same goes for videos. And when you say that, and when you click, they are shared in the telephone, so you can click with you can share with the contacts. So it's an independent application, regardless of Facebook or social media. I mean, it doesn't have cellular connectivity or other sort of connectivity, and they do require the phone to download those images and videos. But perfectly well, you can spend the whole day with the glasses, and at the end of the day, download them all. And I was seeing all virtual meetings, and I envision face-to-face virtual reality, basically. So we missed a lot the in-person conferences, and I'm sure that we're going to get back. Thank you, Bruno, for your participation. Thanks for all the work and for the support, Facebook support to this sort of training. For many years, you've been supporting us. Thank you very much, and hopefully one day we can have you in person here. Our team, Adrián, Oscar, says hi here in the audio and video. I'm from Buenos Aires. Best to you.
Igualmente, muchísimas gracias. Ha sido todo un honor.
Thank you.
Adiós.